When I'm thinking about insight clinically, I put it on about 5 levels. And you might be thinking, Preston, what even is insight? And I think that's a great question. So in general, insight is your ability to understand and appreciate what is going on. For example, if I had anxiety, insight into my anxiety would be the understanding that I am worried about things and I appreciate that it affects my life. For the remainder of this video, we're going to break down insight using depression as a template. So level 0, no insight into my depression. Nothing's wrong, guys. I'm not sad. I like laying in bed all day and not eating and having my hobbies mean nothing to me anymore. Okay, moving on to number 2. The only thing showing a little bit more insight than there's no problem is there is a problem. Level 1 insight comes with a caveat, which is you don't have a good idea of where that problem comes from. I am unhappy, but it's because of things outside of my control. So there is a problem, but it's everyone else's fault. A great example of this would be I'm depressed, I'm not happy, I should just move cities. It's probably the fact that I live in Austin. Probably because my car isn't nice enough. Maybe if I get a nicer car, that will change things. So I'm externalizing all the reasons why I'm unhappy. That we're graduating from there is a problem, but it's everyone else's fault. The next logical step is there is a problem and it's my fault, right? I know I'm the one causing this. Actually, there's something in between. There is a problem, but I don't know. Being uncertain where the problem comes from is demonstrating more insight than someone who's already attributing it to everyone else. It is showing that they are open to the possibility that they could be the issue. Someone who's saying, I'm unhappy and I don't know why, is demonstrating more insight than someone who's saying, I'm unhappy and it's just because everyone else sucks. So naturally, moving on from there is a problem and I don't know where, it's there is a problem and I understand how I relate to it. So now instead of I'm not happy because I live in a bad city, or I'm not happy because I don't know, it's I'm not happy because I don't feel like I belong. I don't have a sense of purpose and I don't have anyone in my life that makes me feel heard. My best coping skill is consuming alcohol, and I equate pleasure to happiness, which is ultimately an unfulfillable treadmill. There is a problem and I understand how I relate to it. Is this the end of the line? No, it's not. Having an understanding of where your problem comes from is not full insight because you don't have an appreciation of where it comes from. To hammer this point home, I'm going to show you a clip from, of all shows, BoJack Horseman. What Todd is trying to explain to BoJack and the rest of the audience that in order to have true insight, you have to acknowledge that you're part of the problem and therefore part of the solution. What he's ultimately getting at here is agency. I have to appreciate that there is a problem, I understand how I relate to it, and I am going to change my behavior. A lot of people use labeling this problem as feigned insight, and they can actually ward off therapists and other people because they're like, I know exactly what's wrong with me. You know, my mom never loved me, or I push all these people away because I'm just a self-saboteur and that's why this all happens. But if you're not doing anything to change it, you don't have full insight. When I have patients that are at this level and they say, well, I know the reasons why I do all these things, I try to hit them with and yet here we are. And yet we're still here. So what now? And I try to remind them that they have agency to change those things. This is how I correlate this to my mental status exam. So 0 insight, that's delusional. Obviously, that's the clinical definition of delusion. No insight into a fixed false belief. And there is a problem, it's everyone else's fault. There is a problem, I don't know where it's come from. That's kind of poor, fair overlap. Fair insight is there is a problem, I'm not sure, but I can know it's associated with me. And then I'd only give people good insight if they show they have agency and they're going to try to make themselves better. It's very rare that people have good insight. Okay, ready for something else? This is about to blow your mind. Notice how there's 5 of these, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total, right? So we got denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.